Hey everyone, my name is Sean and welcome to Standby Main. In today's video I'm going to be teaching you how to improve upon the starter deck, which is given to you at the beginning of Legacy of the Duelist, Link Evolution. The starter deck which you get in Link Evolution is not very good, and just like in Legacy of the Duelist, when you started off with a brand new deck, you only have 140 new cards to use and choose from, and they're very old school style cards. They've tried to give you a variety of different ones here, but they're not very good. Now, if you're like myself and you want to get to the really good cards, you want to get through that campaign ASAP, and you also want to unlock the card shops and start farming and start collecting your points, you want to get a deck which is kind of going to provide you with quick wins. Now, of course, they're going to be those Exodia, Turbo, OMG, what first turn killed Exodia decks that will come out eventually, but for the time being, you don't have access to cards like that. You kind of just want to have a really good solid deck which will get you through the campaign and can kind of deal with almost every situation. Not to say the campaign's difficult or anything, the campaign's ridiculously easy, and if you want, you can play through the cards that the decks are, play using the decks that are provided for you. But if you're like myself and you just want to kind of get through it ASAP, this isn't going to be a deck which I'm going to strongly recommend that you use. Now, when building a deck here, I'm going to actually build this deck live for you here so that you can see my decision making for you. To do so, we're going to use the filter function on the deck edit mode here, and we're going to go through the different genres of cards here. So the different genres are listed here, then we're going to add a couple more cards using the other features as well. And we're going to start with cards that can destroy spells and spell cards on the field. If you want to win in Legacy of the Duelist, your basic principle is you want to get rid of your opponent's cards in order to attack them, and then you can win the game. So if you can get rid of their cards by destroying them, that's all the better for you. In terms of destroying spells and trap cards, the best cards you have at the beginning are Amazoness Sage and your 2 copies of Breaker the Magical Warrior. Really good normal summons. This one destroys ones in spells in the battle phase. This one can destroy a spell and trap card on the field when you normal summon it. Both really solid cards. Also, Amazoness Sage is a warrior, which is going to be relevant later on. We're also going to include 3 copies of Dust Tornado, so we have 6 copies of the card. 6 copies of spell and trap removal in our main deck, which is going to be useful as well. I'm also going to add in 2 copies of Folcolt's Cannon, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit why later. So they're going to go in the side deck for now, but I'm going to put them in a little bit, put them in now just for a little bit later on. Raigeki Break is also a really good versatile card. Although it's a trap card, it can be a little bit slow, so I'm going to put it in the side deck, and if we need to fill in more space, I'll put Raigeki Break in there. Diamond Direwolf is also really good, and depending on how many level 4s we have, we may be able to summon this card as well. So these are the best spell and trap removal cards that you have available to you at the start of when you first load up the game. In terms of monster removal, the best cards we have are Exploder Dragon, Fencing Fire Ferret, Dark Hole, and Fisher. Again, immediately you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have about 7 cards. 7 cards that can destroy spells and monsters on the field. Really good sufficient number. Ignore the rest. They're really just too slow to use if you kind of want to be efficient. And then of course the good old Mirror Force is also really good as well. Raigeki Break is here as well, and it's functional that it can kind of do both, so we will put Raigeki Break in, but I don't really like playing too many trap cards in a deck unless it's a deck that's built around that feature. We're going to ignore most of these, and we're going to go all the way down to return cards. Sometimes you need to return cards off the field back to your opponent's hand or to the extra deck, and cards that are good for that are Gale Lizard, Castell, and maybe Lightning Chidori. I don't know if we'll be able to summon that really. We can put it in, we've got the extra space now anyway. Gale Lizard can return any monster on your opponent controls and return it to the hand, which can be really useful. It is a flip effect, but its stats aren't too bad for what you have at the beginning of the game. 1400 attack is okay, it's not too bad. Help Drawing is always really good. There isn't really many good options here for that though, and the only card I would really recommend is putting Shard of Greed, Supply Squad. Shard of Greed is typically a much weaker version of Pot of Greed, because you have to wait 2 turns to use it, but in Legacy of the Duelist, sometimes you have 2 turns to wait, so give it a go. It's not too bad. Drawing cards is always good, and Supply Squad's great because every time a card is destroyed, bad battle war card effects, you can draw 1 card. So yeah, pretty good. Supply Squad. Definitely solid card to use when you just start up the game. Searching the deck. Now, as I alluded to earlier, we do have a warrior in this deck, so we are going to add reinforcement of the army, and there are going to be some more warriors which we're going to add later on as well to kind of help this work. We also have floater monsters here, and I'm going to come back to these a little bit later on. Summoner's Art is also a really good card. It searches out a normal monster, and your pendulum cards also count as normal monsters here, so we're going to use Summoner's Art to add these to our hand later on, but we'll get back to that in just a little bit. Keep on going. We've got Recover from the Graveyard. The only really good cards here that can recover from the graveyard are the Warrior Returning Alive and Call of the Haunted. So I'm going to put in maybe 2 copies of Call of the Haunted maximum. And Warrior Returning Alive, I'm going to put 1 copy in. But really, I don't think you really need the Warrior Returning Alive, to be honest with you. Actually, I'm going to take it out. I don't think we need it. So we'll just go with that card there. Moving on, we're going to go to Send to the Graveyard. Nothing here is really good, but one card that is nice is the Tricky. Tricky has 2000 attack and can be special summoned to the field, so really easily, so we're going to put that card in. And speaking of special summoning, that is going to be the next feature we're going to go to, and we're going to ignore the rest and go to special summoning cards. Cards here that are really good for special summoning are Marauding Captain. When you normal summon it, you can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand. Helps you just flood the field with monsters really easier, and it's searchable with reinforcement of the army. And then we also have Goblin the Berg, which also is very much like Marauding Captain, but can summon any monster, not just actually no, they're both special for level 4 or lower, but this one puts the monster you summon into defense, which is okay because you have some rank 4s here, which you can put them into a rank 4 play, so that's not too bad at all. So Goblin the Berg, Marauding Captain are also really, really good. Other than that, I think this is what we're going to stop with there. And now we're going to go to, I don't think there's any more genres here that we really need. Now, you don't want too many monsters in a deck. You really kind of want to limit how many monsters you have, or realistically you want to limit how many normal summons you want to have in a deck. Otherwise, games can drag on and be really, really slow. So we're going to go on to looking at spells and trap cards. Spell cards, let's go with this card frame. Spells, we're going to look at what cards may be good here. Oops, turn off that and put spells on. Right, other cards that are maybe good. Enemy control is really good, can turn a card from attack to defense. Earthquake can be kind of good. It's kind of like a weaker version of Raigeki. Turns all cards on the field to defense position, and then so you can play with that kind of nicely. Similarly speaking, we'll go with, now normally I don't recommend doing the cards which increase attack, but with the basic state of the game and how limited your card pool is, Rush Recklessly isn't terrible. I'm gonna put 2 copies of it in there. But it's not really, I would not recommend playing Rush Recklessly, but it can be a decent defensive and offensive option because it is a quick play spell. So, kind of good, just for what we have, it's kind of okay. We are now going to go for trap cards. Are there any trap cards here that I really think are worth putting in? No, not so much. There is, however, one other card which I want to look at. We're now going to look at some beat sticks. We're going to look at cards which have decent attack, so just cards which are going to help you win the game faster. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to monsters and we're going to change our sort to attack, and all the monsters with the highest attack are going to be at the bottom here that we can normal summon, and we have 2 copies of Flashlight here. Now we're going to put Flashlight in to complement our 4 Crown Cannon, because we can pendulum summon any monster using these 2 cards between levels 7 and levels 2, which basically is every card in our deck, so this can really help us accelerate how fast we win the game. Also, because these are normal monsters, we're going to add in Summoner's Art, so we can search them out easier, and also this is a warrior monster, so you can also search it out with reinforcement of the army as well. Yeah, I've only got 4 more slots left, and the other cards which may be worth playing here are Slate Warrior. It's got a really, really nice effect for a very simplified game state, where it's it has 1900 attack. If you flip it over or flip summon it, it gets 500 attack to go defense, so it becomes 2400 attack, and anything that destroys it by battle loses 500 attack. So can be really, really good for modifying your opponent's attack and defense, but also a card that's very good at doing that is Armored Bee. Armored Bee halves the attack of any monster your opponent controls on the field until the end phase. So if your opponent's monster does not have 3300 more attack, Armored Bee can just deal with it. It can just either destroy it by battle or just trade evenly with it. The final card we're going to put in this deck, into the main deck here. Let's go with Jar of Greed, I guess. Now let's put one more copy called Haunted in, and there we have it. So this is a really solid way to utilize the very limited card pool you have to start off with the game. It's not an amazing deck by any means, but this deck should really help you get through the campaign quite quickly because you have plenty of options for destroying cards in the field and just swarming the field and doing as much damage as you can ASAP. But yeah, I'm going to go into the campaign now, start doing my farming and start trying to get my points up ASAP so I can start going open some card packs. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have done, please leave a like, please comment, and also feel free to subscribe. I will be delivering a lot more content on Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. I have tons of ideas for things I want to do content on, and if you've enjoyed this video, please show your support by doing so, as mentioned before. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.